Real Madrid versus Juventus, round of 16 Club World Cup. I can't lie, man, this is a big game. Out of all the teams and out of all the matchups in the round of 16, this is arguably the biggest, just in terms of both clubs, the heritage of both clubs, and of course the status of both clubs. Listen, we are going to be talking about the game. I am going to be predicting also what Real Madrid starting 11 would be, and of course some of the most key matchups between both teams. Before we go any further, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and of course comment your own thoughts about the game. First of all, listen, Real Madrid came into this tournament and so far the Club World Cup, it's been a first game against Al Hilal, wasn't really the most convincing performances, but it was Xabi Alonso's first ever game at Real Madrid. So we still had to learn, we still had to adapt, and the Real Madrid fan base needed to give Xabi Alonso, let's be real, a lot of patience in what he needed to do. The second matchup against Pachuca, a man down after 5 minutes. A man down after 5 minutes, and we looked at it and said, oh my goodness, here we go again. But Real Madrid responded very well, scored 3 goals, and played much better than Pachuca, despite a man down. And this is the first time I've seen Real Madrid in a very long time that, despite being a man down, they still try to play. They're still intent to stay with the identity and stay with the intention of moving the ball around and not defending with basically 9 players as you've got a man down. But last game against Salzburg, you guys seen my prediction. Sorry, you guys have seen my match review. I was excited. I might be one of the happiest people in the world. I finally saw my team back. Real Madrid, that game against Salzburg, it was one of the best displays I've seen over the past 5 years, fam. It was incredible. Incredible. Now we're going up against a Juve side who, they started the Club World Cup positively, 5-0 against Al Ain. Then at Wydad, 4-1. They scored 9 goals after 2 games, and everyone knew the game against City was going to be the decider, who was going to top the group. And they got absolute destroyed. They got absolute cooked. And the lineup made no sense to me. I mean, have a look. When they played City, it wasn't the usual players. I was very surprised at the likes of Koulibaly, who was a big part and came back to, of course, Juve after his loan spell in the last 6 months, which was pretty successful. Again, didn't start. Someone like Conchichao, who, again, I know I'm butchering his name completely wrong. It's the way I say it. Conchichao, someone who's been pretty decent, cutting onto his left. He scored, I think, against Al Ain, was on the bench as well. Someone like Cambiaso, their best fullback, on the bench. Someone like Thuram, a star in that pivot, in that defensive role, also on the bench. And their star man, their star boy, number 10, Yildiz, was on the bench. So I was quite surprised why Igor Tudor was pretty much benching most of his key players. Maybe he knew City was going to beat us. Let me rest my main players for Real Madrid. Maybe that was the intention. But fam, I watched the game. We did a watch along. They got absolutely destroyed. Like, City were 10 times better than them. And there was no point at the game which I felt like Juve had some sort of control. And there wasn't a moment where I felt like Juve could potentially hurt Real Madrid. Of course, their players are very different. I'm expecting the likes of Yildiz to start. I'm expecting the likes of Thuram to start, Cambiaso to start, Koulibaly to start, potentially Conchal, but even though Nico Gonzalez was decent against Man City. But let's now talk about the lineup. And let's talk about what to expect from Real Madrid. Because, of course, a couple of players are coming back from injury. One person's coming back from suspension in Raul. So the lineup at the moment, is Xabi Alonso going to stick to what he played last game, the 3-4-2-1, which worked to perfection? Or is he going to back to what he did in the game 1 and game 2, 4-3-3, bring Rodrigo back? You never know. But this is going to be my prediction, yeah? So in goal, no surprise, I think everyone pretty much expect this to happen, and it will be Mr. Thibaut Courtois in goal. Right back is going to be Trent. Right back is going to be Trent, but he's going to be playing, for me, a completely different role. Then, of course, with the arrival, of course, Raul coming back from suspension, I don't think Raul's going to be starting. He's had a very, very poor 2 games to start the Club World Cup. Got sent off, which made no sense. But Rudiger, I think, is healthy, is back from injury, had a good game against Salzburg, and will continue to start. I do expect these two, what we're about to Dean Huijsen, Dean and Rudiger, I expect these two to be our starting two, but combining with some person for the rest of the season. Then the left-hand side, I expect Fran Garcia, who, to be fair, had a very good game. I can't deny what he's done. I know I'm not his biggest fans, but at the same time, I can give flowers and I can give praise when deserved. And I feel like Fran Garcia against Salzburg had a very, very good campaign. Very, very going forward, tracking back, defending, pressing. My only issue with Fran Garcia is when he comes to the final third, when he gets here, his brain stops working. His brain stops working. Like his decision-making into the final third is so bad. So bad. But I've seen a lot of people say, oh my God, we should start him for next season. Forget Alvaro Carreras. Bro, put the mic down. Put the mic down, put the keyboard down, turn off the internet. Yeah, chill the hell out, fam. 1 game against Salzburg, and you guys are already gassing it up, bro. Let's see how he does now against an actual good opponent and someone who I think, we'll talk about matchups, innit? And then, lastly, Chimeni this is how I think Madrid will line up. It will be exactly how, in terms of back, exactly how they did last game. Then we have the 2 pivots. And of course, the main man, the star man, El Capitan being there. And then, my boy, the Turkish sensation, the man who I told you we need to start. I told you from last season we need to build the team around Arda Güler. And Arda Güler will start very, very good 2 games against Pachuca and against, of course, Salzburg. After what he did coming off the bench against Al Hilal and Xabi Alonso from there, pretty much knew he is someone I can't put on the bench. He is someone that I need to start because he gives me something that no other midfielder in Real Madrid does. And then up front, we've got the 2 10s. Mr. Jude Bellingham, who I voted in my last match as our best player against Salzburg. We had a lot of key players. We had a lot of good players against Salzburg. But for me, Jude Bellingham dropped an absolute man of the match display. And the person who I'm hoping is back after his very good display against what's it called? Against Salzburg, scored a goal, assisted a goal, and I feel like hopefully this is where Vinny will slowly and gradually be back to what I know. And lastly, it's a starting and striker position. Reports has been saying that Mbappe is of course back. Mbappe has tweeted himself. He's been training with Real Madrid and things are looking good for Mbappe. He, of course, missed the first 3 games due to an illness, due to sickness. This brother had diarrhea. I don't know what he was munching. Wendy's, KFC, McDonald's. I don't know what he was munching. But he's now back. Gonzalo Garcia has given us something which no Madrid fan expected. The first 3 games, getting a start from Xabi Alonso, which big up to him, from starting him and trusting him. And we've seen Gonzalo Garcia become this player which is incredible to see. His link-up is sensational. His hold-up is sensational. His quick feet. He's very smart. Very, very patient with the ball. But most importantly, defensively. He tracks back. He presses at all costs. Doesn't get tired. That's a reason why he played 100 minutes in the first game. That's a reason why in the second game he played 100 minutes. But last game he played 45 minutes because he got tired. And that's fully understandable. The question mark is between those 2 players. And we've got the third person is Mr. Rodrigo. Rodrigo started the first game, didn't do well, but the second game and the third game was pretty much on the bench. And of course, the rumors are still circulating about him leaving Real Madrid after the Club World Cup, which is a possibility. Rodrigo just put it in the bag. I don't think he's going to start this game. It now comes down to Gonzalo Garcia and it comes down to Kylian Mbappe. Gonzalo Garcia has deserved to start. And big up Gonzalo Garcia. I love what he's done. And 100%, there is no way in hell we should offload him, loan him out, whatever it is. However, our best player, our best striker, is back. Mr. Kylian Mbappe is back now. He's healthy. He's ready to go. And there should not be a reason why we shouldn't start Mr. Kylian Mbappe. So as much and as good as, of course, Gonzalo Garcia has done, the big boy is back. The big man is back, and Kylian Mbappe should be starting. This isn't a knock to Gonzalo Garcia. It's actually a good headache to have. Bro, at one point this season, we were never thinking of a Gonzalo Garcia. But it's a compliment to what Gonzalo Garcia has done that even mentioning him, the possibility of him starting. Like, that was never the idea last season. So for you to be part of the equation and part of the starting selection headache, that's a good problem to have. So big up what Gonzalo Garcia has done, but the big boy is back. And Mbappe should be starting. I would love to see how Mbappe fits in this system, and especially the amount of chances he is about to be getting. Like Trent Alexander-Arnold, he would absolutely love Mbappe. And Mbappe would absolutely love Trent Alexander-Arnold. This new three-man trio with the 2 10s and Mbappe up front, we're going to see a lot of rotation between them. We're going to see a lot of movement between, especially off the ball movement, which I've been waiting for. And Arda Güler's going to have a field day. Him and Trent, I'm expecting to be absolutely cooking and absolutely helping Mbappe with all the chances. Like Gonzalo Garcia, he scored now 2 goals. He could have scored more. He had a couple chances which he missed. And I feel like the runs that Mbappe will make, the speed with Mbappe, and of course Mbappe just being a better player, I think Mbappe is going to absolutely have a good game against Juventus. So this would be my starting 11 with Thibaut, Rudiger, Tchouameni, Dean as the 3 centre-back, with Trent and Fran Garcia as the 2 wing-backs, the 2 pivot of Fede and Arda, and of course the 3-man up front in Mr. Jude as a 10, Vinny as a 10, and of course Mr. Kiki Mbappe as a striker. In terms of matchup and in terms of what to expect between both teams, of course, I will go back. I'm not going to go to this game. I think the game which I'm going to go to is this one. This is what I'm expecting. This is what I'm expecting, basically, as you guys can see right here from the bottom of the screen. This is what I'm expecting them to start. It's maybe Bremer, but Bremer, to be fair, has come back from that long injury. But I'm expecting this to be the case against Real Madrid. It's very similar setup, very similar lineup in terms of 3 at the back. The wing backs are 2 pivots, the 2 10s, and of course, Koulibaly up front. The first matchup to consider is, of course, Mr. Conceição against someone like, of course, a Fran Garcia, who Fran Garcia so far has done well against Salzburg, against Pachuca, and somewhat against Al Hilal. Not to be fair, Malcolm in some way had his number certain times, and Cancelo when he constantly kept overlapping. But Fran Garcia needs to have a big game against Mr. Conceição. The second lineup, the second matchup is, of course, Mr. Kenan Yildiz, which Rudiger and Trent Alexander-Arnold need to be very careful of, because he's someone that loves to have the ball on his feet and he makes very, very good runs. Koulibaly, we all know about. He loves to pretty much run in behind defense, but I'm not too worried about him because I'm sure I've got Tchouameni and Dean Hoynes that will cover that. But now going forward, their defense consists of Lloyd Kelly, Savona, and potentially Costa or Bremer. Bro, the amount of space that they left for City is incredible. Like, Costa is not a good player. I watched him against City. Again, I know it's not fair for me to judge a player after one game, but I like to see something after one game. He showed me nothing. He showed me absolutely low IQ and bad awareness and positioning. That's why I'm expecting Vinny Jr. to have a very good day against him. Mbappe, I'm expecting him to run in behind the defense against someone like Savona and Lloyd Kelly, similar to Mr. Jude Bellingham. But for me, the matchup, which will be very interesting, is right here. Thuram, Locatelli against Fede Valverde and Arda Güler. And I feel like these two, I'm low-key. I feel like they might be the ones moving forward. Camavinga will be back, but at the moment, I love what Fede and Arda, the balance between them, it's sensational. Like Fede gives you everything off the ball, on the ball. He gives you the complete dominant, the complete workhorse performance. Whereas Arda Güler gives you the little flair to it, gives you the passes that Fede can't make, and gives you that little additional creativity and that little finesse to it. You know what I mean? Like, imagine Fede Valverde. Fede Valverde is the starter and the main. But what Arda Güler is, he's a little dessert, you know what I mean? Like, you can't finish a munch without a dessert, you know what I mean? You can't go out without a dessert or a drink. Arda Güler is a dessert and a drink that you need Arda Güler in your life, but you need Fede Valverde to survive. Like, you can survive without Arda. You can't survive without Fede, because Fede is the starter and the main. But, hey, man, no one's going to say no to dessert. And Arda Güler is that. A little sprinkles on top, you know what I mean? The finesse to it, the flair to it. And that's what Arda Güler gives this Real Madrid team. But my prediction for today's game, for tomorrow's game, I'm going to be so real. Juve, apologies. You're just another victim. You're just another victim of Mr. Xabi Alonso. It's been a good ride for you, man. You won 2 games. You lost against City. You're now through to knockout stage. You've received what, 30 million already, which is not bad. This is more than what you received last season. Finishing, what was it, top 4th, 5th in Serie A? Brother, you've done well. You got your money, but your chapter is done. Real Madrid will win this game comfortably for me. Comfortably. And I'm expecting a 4-1 Real Madrid. 4-1 Real Madrid. But put down in the comments who you would want in the starting 11, who you would want starting between Gonzalo Garcia and Kylian Mbappe, and who are you expecting matchups, but most importantly, your predictions down in the comment section. We've hit 78k, which massive props to all of you guys. I'll be doing a watch along for this game. I'll be going about 45 minutes early before this game, just to talk about it and everything, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.